year is 564 BC. The place is Olympia, Greece. Every 4 years, men gather here not for glory, but for immortality. They seek the katinos, the simple olive wreath, the greatest honor a mortal man can achieve. But today, immortality will demand a price no one could have predicted. We are watching the final of the pancration. This event was the savage heart of the ancient Olympics, a blend of boxing and wrestling with almost no rules. Only biting and gouging were forbidden. It was a fight to the absolute finish, a fight for survival. In one corner stands the reigning champion, a legend of Phigaleia, a man who has won this brutal crown in 2 previous Olympics, Arrhichion. His name means very able in strength, and he has lived up to it. In the other corner stands the challenger, young, desperate, and powerful. The crowd holds its breath. They know Arrhichion is tired. He is battered. He has fought 3 long, grinding rounds just to reach this final. But the champion has a will made of iron. What unfolded next is not just a sports story, it is a historical account of the most extreme sacrifice ever made in the pursuit of victory. It is the story of a man who won his final, eternal crown after his last breath. To understand Arrhichion, we must first understand the pancration. This was not a sport, it was combat distilled. Think of it as ancient MMA, but without the time limits, weight classes, or sensible regulations. Fighters used punches, elbows, kicks, including a devastating kick to the gut known as the Ghaja. Once on the ground, the brutality escalated. Joint locks, submissions, strangulation, and bone-crushing throws were all legal. The only way out was for one man to raise his hand in submission, to give up, or to die. By the 54th Olympiad, Arrhichion had mastered this savage art. His style was not based on brute force, but on endurance and tactical submissions. He was a master strategist on the ground, patiently waiting for the moment to apply a choke or lock. His previous victories had made him a national hero. But in this final bout, the younger, fresher challenger knew he couldn't out-wrestle the veteran. He had to use speed and aggression. The fight begins. The challenger, quick and powerful, immediately goes on the offensive. He avoids the clinch, rains down strikes, and forces Arrhichion into a defensive position. The champion is slow to respond, his previous fights having taken a heavy toll on his energy. The challenger sees his chance. He executes a flawless takedown, smashing Arrhichion to the ground. The veteran struggles beneath the heavy weight of the young fighter. It is on the ground, in the dust of the stadium, that the challenger lands his decisive move. He manages to secure a full-body hold, crushing the air out of the champion. At the same time, he wraps his legs around Arrhichion's feet, achieving a crushing foot lock, twisting and driving his heel into the unforgiving sand. Arrhichion is now trapped. The choke is cutting off his blood supply, and the pain from the footlock is immediate, searing, and unbearable. His opponent is applying maximum pressure, confident that the mighty champion must now yield. The crowd roars, anticipating the surrender. The pain must have been agonizing. The footlock alone was enough to make any man scream and tap out. But Arrhichion remembered the words of his coach, Eryxius. What a beautiful monument not to have yielded at Olympia. He refused to submit. With the world fading to black and the sound of his own heel bone likely fracturing, Arrhichion did not panic. His mind, trained over years of extreme discipline, remained tactical. He knew if he could break the challenger's concentration for a single second, he could reverse the situation. With his last surge of adrenaline, he used the only part of his body still free, his upper body. He violently twists his torso, lunging toward his opponent. The move wasn't aimed at escaping the choke, but at exposing the challenger's guard. The challenger, focused entirely on maintaining the strangulation and the footlock, briefly shifts his weight. That was the only opening Arrhichion needed. Even with his lungs collapsing, Arrhichion snaps his arm forward and locks his hands around the challenger's neck in a desperate, inescapable stranglehold. This was his signature move, the one he had mastered over 2 previous Olympiads. As Arrhichion's strength ebbed away, the challenger finally realized he was trapped. He was being choked by the man whose foot he was actively destroying. The pain from the choke, combined with the shock of the sudden counter, proved too much. The young man raised his hand. He tapped out. The referee immediately signaled the end of the match and rushed in to break the hold. Arrhichion had won, but as the referee moved to raise the champion's arm, Arrhichion's body went limp. The strength in his hands, fueled by the deepest possible will to win, had held fast even as the challenger's footlock had killed him. The challenger had broken Arrhichion's neck, killing him by strangulation or sheer exhaustion, right at the moment of his own submission. A profound silence fell over the stadium. The crowd watched the bizarre scene. The challenger was alive but submitted. The champion was victorious, but dead. After consultation, the judges made their ruling. Since the challenger had signaled his surrender before Arrhichion expired, the last act of the match was the submission. Arrhichion of Phigaleia was declared the winner of the Pankration. He had achieved his third consecutive Olympic title, the Kotinos that guaranteed his eternal glory. He was crowned posthumously. The olive wreath was placed upon the head of his lifeless body. The citizens of Phigaleia immediately honored him with a hero's funeral. The story became the ultimate parable of Greek athletic discipline, immortalized by writers like Pausanias and Philostratus. Arrhichion did not simply fight until he died. He fought through his death, conquering his opponent with his last physical act. A statue was erected in his honor at Olympia, and in 1958, archaeologists actually found the base of this statue, confirming the very real existence of this impossible hero. Arrhichion's victory is the most extreme illustration of the ancient Greek philosophy of competition, that the pursuit of excellence and the refusal to yield were more important than life itself. He proved that sometimes the will to win is strong enough to conquer death. The story of Arrhichion raises a chilling question. Was that final desperate victory truly worth the cost? The Greeks certainly thought so. They remembered the champion not for the pain of his broken body, but for the unbreakable spirit that won him the ultimate final crown. What do you think? Did Arrhichion's death redefine victory, or was it a tragic end to an inhumane sport? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more incredible stories from the ancient world and hit the bell for notifications.